Why does it seem whenever I'm, like, actually genuinely busy for, like, a week, like, everyone decides to release books? Anyway, welcome back to another episode of Last Week in Comics, where I tell you about the last week in comics. Yeah, okay, we're just gonna jump into it. There's so much stuff to cover this week, and it's so funny because I have to film this on Thursday, so if anything happens between Saturday or between Friday and Sunday, I'm not covering it. So first off, for the first time on this channel, we are going to talk about Action Comics. Action Comics 1097, of course, features Booster Gold. Why is he there? Future shit. I don't know. Mary Marvel and Martian Manhunter are also there. I'm not going to go over the plot of this. I am going to go over the booster of this because, if you are still using TikTok, which I'm not, Stack the Deck, my lovely, editor.
I edit your videos, credit me.
But my lovely editor, has already made a video on it and how they have seemingly dumbed down Booster Gold again. Yeah, he kind of is going back to his early JLI, I would say, like, the most common mischaracterization of Booster Gold, where he's, like, kind of an idiot and, is constantly spoiling the future, a thing that he is... I don't think he's ever done. I don't think he's ever done that once. My initial thoughts when I saw Booster, Mary Marvel, Martian Manhunter were that they were like past versions of these characters. No, these are the characters as they exist currently in DC, which is what makes this characterization for Booster Gold even more baffling. And on top of that, like, they do acknowledge the events of DCKO. This is how I know that this is like the current standing of all of these characters, is because they do bring up how they let Booster go into the, like, whole whatever the fuck happened at the beginning of, or at the in DC All In. They made him go alone to go investigate the Rift, and he was then captured and tortured by Darkseid. Now, are we going to, at all cover how that was for him? No, because of course Booster Gold can't get his own book. He's fucking a side character in Superboy, The Adventures of Superman, when he was a boy. And it's like, and that's the crazy thing about everyone going like, oh, Booster, don't spoil the future, because Mary Marvel is doing more spoiling than literally anyone else. Literally anyone else. She mentions Krypton. She's the one who name drops Krypton, I'm pretty sure. And fucking, like, asking who Lana Lang is. I'm saying that Mary Marvel is about to spoil that he is going to meet Lois Lane. I don't know what the fuck this... Mark Waid. I don't know why Booster's in this. If I'm being completely honest, I don't know. Stack is yelling that he's the time travel guy. But here's my honest opinion. I think that we need to address what happened to Booster during DCKO before we just kind of shove him into Action Comics real quick. I guess they're trying to do this whole thing of, like, finding Superman and, like, trying to bring him back to the main timeline because that's who they're chasing. Can we do this shit with Batman next time? I think it would be a great idea for all of us to just not have Batman around for, like, a couple years. They did this with Batman already? When did they do this?
There was a whole event where Batman kept, like, died for, like, a little bit, but he was, like, scattered across time. And so, the second Time Masters book?
Oh, that's what that was about?
Yeah.
That's what the Batman. Second Time Master?
Yeah.
That's what that was about?
Yeah.
I think that they should do it again, but better. I think they should do it like that time that Dick Grayson took over the Batman mantle, but instead of Dick Grayson, have Cassandra Cain take it, because she's the only one who deserves it. I don't know. If you ask me what the plot of any DC Comics, any DC event is, I don't know. I've read Crisis on Infinite Earths. I could not tell you what the fuck that was about. Anyway, Action Comics 1097, fuck it, I guess we're doing time travel now. I wish that Booster and Ted would be able to get books again, but apparently that's too much to ask anymore. Next up on books that piss me off, and devalue characters. Of course, we're going to talk about Sirens, Love Hurts, issue 3. I know, like, I feel like everything with this book would have been better if they were just doing a heist. I don't know why they had to add, like, okay, because the entire plot of this book the conflict in this book is that someone is killing a bunch of vulnerable women based on their birthday, horoscope shit. Because that's what girls are into. And this is the Long Halloween Sex in the City. Because obviously girls don't like comics. That's what this book reads like to me. And I feel like the tone that this book is taking, where it's like very like, it is Sex in the City. I'm fine with that. A comic can be Sex in the City when they're not trying to dumb down their characters. Everyone wants to talk about the dumbing down of Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn in every other book, most of which do not deserve it. But when it comes to Sirens, y'all are just silent. Y'all don't say shit. Y'all don't say shit about fucking Harley asking for uppies and saying, oh, I just want to be held by my bestie. Like, what the fuck is happening anymore? I hate this. Like, Harley, okay, this is me talking as a lesbian. That meme where, straight girls hanging out and they're all making out versus lesbians hanging out, and it's a screenshot from the fucking Sopranos. That's Harley and Ivy in this book are like straight girls experimenting. That's what it feels like to me, which is odd. Yeah, because they're not together in this book. Fun fact. They're like friends with like they're like doing like a one night stand at the end, and it feels slightly homophobic, if I'm being honest. And I like Teenie Howard. I know that she can write sapphics. I don't know what she's doing in this. I don't know what the fuck was the creative process for this book. It's driving me fucking insane. So don't read Love Hurts. Again, I swear to fucking God, there has to be because I was trying to think there must be a Teenie Howard book I've read that I liked. And then I realized that she mostly writes Batman characters and X-Men, which are the two characters in comics I never read. I refuse to I actively go out of my way to not read Batman and X-Men. But I hear Teenie Howard's a good writer. This book does not show me that. I can't even say the art looks good because this is not even good work from Babs Tarr. You know what really pisses me off after reading this issue is that the discourse surrounding this book was about how there's no fashion in comics anymore, which is a true statement. I think that a lot of modern comic book artists are not as well into the fashion space as they should be, a la, even though I hate him, John Byrne, and, famously Alex Ross. It's why Alex Ross has some of the best fucking superhero suit designs, because he fucking loves fashion. This is not anyone's best work. It's really bad. Don't fucking read this book. I think that this book would have been better if if they weren't being all jokey, haha, we're so silly, we're just girls, about the murders of vulnerable women. If they literally chose any other thing, I think an Ocean's 11 style jewel heist would have been perfect for this book, actually. Ocean's 8, if you will. I think that would have been great. But no, apparently we can't have good things anymore. Speaking of good things, though, Supergirl issue 12. Sophie Campbell did put what I presume to be a transgender allegory in this. Okay, so Supergirl's now Cyborg Supergirl, after, the massive fall that she took in the last issue. So all of the children of Kandor are kind of revolting, because, they want to leave Kandor, but the adults are no, but they won't explain to the children why. Because the reasoning is that, Kandorians can't survive outside of Kandor for that long. They will eventually shrink and go back to Kandor size. So they can't really, live in the world outside of Kandor. And they don't know why, but they're trying to figure it out. But instead of like just telling them, they just kind of told them to never leave. And then now Black Flame is taking over and doing an entire youth rebellion. And Supergirl's like, I don't like what the adults are doing, but also the kids are committing terrorism. So I have to be anti-everyone right now. You notice from the last issue, like, what was it? Thunderlad, Kid Thunder. There's a bunch of them. But there's a new set of heroes out. We only saw one of them. I think it was the transgender allegory one, yeah. Because, like, this old hero's, like, DNA was taken, and then they were making clones of them to fight for the adults of Kandor. And one of them just so happens to come out a girl, despite, like, only male DNA being put into it. And you know what, Sophie Campbell, I want you to explore this more. I don't know where the rest of this arc is going, but, like, can we come back to... We're putting a pin in this? I expect more of this later. We're putting a pin in it. Anyway, so Supergirl's trying to figure out how to save everyone, essentially. And I really do like the situations that they're putting Kara in this book. Because it doesn't feel like Supergirl... It doesn't feel like Superman Light, but it also doesn't feel like, oh, Kara's the angrier, more revengeful one. It's like a good mix of, like, giving Kara her own personality, and I really do appreciate it. I like Supergirl by Sophie Campbell. I get that people saw the art style and were like, oh, this book is for, like, younger audiences, and I'm like, no, I don't think it is. I think it's just, like, again, I don't think that there's anything wrong with getting teenagers into comics. And I'm enjoying it, and I'm, like, 24, so, like, who really gives a fuck? Who cares? Who gives a fuck? It's fine. So the actual big release of DC Next Level for this week is The Fury of Firestorm, issue 1. Okay, so plot-wise, it's essentially like, Ronnie is trapped inside the being that is Firestorm. He had a falling out with the professor, but he's trapped inside of there, and Firestorm is kind of its own entity now, and is trying to kill everyone. Most notably, Firestorm's ex-girlfriend, who the military has called to help them deal with it. I'm gonna say something, and it's gonna be meaner than it actually is. This book is kind of reading like Jenny Sparks by Thomas King, but, like, if it was written right. If it was written, like, how a book like this was supposed to be handled. That's why I'm like, it's not a mean statement, because, like, it is a similar plot. You know, radioactive entity is trying to commit murder. He's lost his humanity, and a woman is called in order to stop him. Like, it's a very similar plot thread, but while Tom King's book, of course, because he is an egotistical maniac war criminal, tries to do too much and throws in too much shit in there, and, like, doesn't understand Jenny Sparks as a character, doesn't understand Captain Atom as a character. This book does seemingly understand Firestorm as a character. I'm not too familiar with Firestorm's girlfriend, so I'm not entirely sure about that, but it does, like, understand the characters and why anyone's doing anything in here. And I do like, sort of, like, while Ronnie's trapped in there, they kind of have, like, his version of events being similar to, like, the older Firestorm comics where, you know, it's him and the professor, like, you know, fighting crime, stopping villains, and he's slowly having to break out of that in order to take control back of Firestorm. Will I continue with this? I am not sure. Not gonna lie, I was not... Again, I'm not really sold on any of the DC Next Level books except for Zatanna, and that's because I really like Jamal Campbell's previous Zatanna run. And I'm mad at Twitter. I'm mad at people on League of Comic Book Geeks for jumping him because he's a man writing Zatanna, despite the fact that he has given us one of the greatest Zatanna runs in recent memory. And not gonna lie, if you're a man at DC, the least you could do is bring female characters and give them books. And give them good books. So, you know what? He's alright in my book. Would I have probably preferred they went back to Mariko Tamaki? Yeah, but personally for me, I feel like people get scared if Mariko Tamaki has more than just a mini. So, I'll take what I can get. I'll take what I can get, okay? And then the last book I actually read from DC was Green Lantern Corps issue 15 now. I mostly skimmed this one. I'm gonna be honest. It's a good book for people who are fans of Jon Stewart. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those people. It does delve a lot into Jon Stewart's, a lot of the guilt that he's been holding on to and how essentially he has to let that go in order to get the fear entity that, like, has bonded itself to him out of him. I think it would be really good for Jon Stewart fans. I am unfortunately just not a Jon Stewart fan. My favorite Lanterns are Simon Baz, Jessica Cruz, and Guy Gardner. So I'm losing constantly in Green Lantern Corps. I'm losing all the time. I had maybe like one win for like 3 issues and that was it. But some fuck shit's gonna happen in the next issue, so that's all you gotta know. Okay, now on to books that I didn't read. Speaking of bad Green Lantern, Absolute Green Lantern number 13. Again, as you know, I dropped this book a while ago. Apparently, Absolute Adam Strange is in it, and then gets replaced by an OC woman, because of course he does. I was talking to this with Nemesis, friend of channel, in the Discord server that we run, because Nemesis basically went like, yeah, Ash was right. Al Ewing can't write women. And I was like, I'm always fucking right. And then we kept on going, ooh, Al Ewing, you want to work on indie comics so bad. Ooh, you want to make an original story instead of, like, ruining characters people like. Because, again, I understand. Everyone's like, but it's actually good because the Absolute Universe, it's supposed to be, like, these dark, it's supposed to be, like, these characters, but not, it's supposed to be, like, alternate versions of these characters. And I'm like, yeah, but that would require them to resemble the character that they are in the first place. And Joe Mullins doesn't do that. Hector Hammond barely does that. Hal Jordan, I guess Parallax, it's the fucking Hal Jordan show and I hate it. Don't read it. I don't want Al Ewing to continue to get books. He is my number one enemy, actually. Well, there's so many, he's my number one enemy based purely on how they write. Like, there's a lot of comic book writers I don't like because of their personal beliefs or things that they have done in the past. But Al Ewing is, like, the main one where I'm like, I don't like your writing at all. It's bad. I shouldn't have to wait till the fucking trade to understand what you're doing. Or we're stopping the Al Ewing rant now. Okay, Bleeding Hearts issue 3. This is apparently good. Den's Camp has been doing a good job. Unfortunately, Stack does not like zombies, so Stack doesn't read this one for me, and I also don't like zombies, so no one's reading it, but I hear it's good. I just don't like zombies either. I don't like zombies because I find it like a tired concept. I don't really want to think about it, but like, Stack is fearful of zombies, so, like, Nice House by the Sea issue 9 also came out. I know Nice House by the Sea is good. Again, I'm not the biggest person on horror comics, so, like, it's kind of, like, hit or miss for me, and I would rather, instead of, like, give a review where I'm like, it's not for me, and then people get mad at me because it sounds like I'm shitting on things, I would rather just be like, hey, if you like it, you like it. Personally, for me, I'm not into it. If you're interested in what it is, it's good, so you should go check it out. And then speaking of bad books, Emperor Aquaman number 16. This is, of course, still Adams. Yeah, it's still MAGA consultant Jeremy Adams, or MAGA comic book writer Jeremy Adams. He's not been good since he got Aquaman. He's not been good in general, but, like, especially the Aquaman books are bad. Like, luckily Green Lantern Corps was kind of able to just, like, strip themselves of him, but, like, sorry Aquaman fans. I feel bad for you guys constantly. Alright, now we're going on to the indies. Woo! Stack said that I didn't do that last time, so I have to do it especially this time. Okay, first off, starting off with Dynamite. I keep on forgetting that this book is coming out, and I want to talk about it a little bit. I did not read it, but I want to talk about it. Archie crossing over with the Army of Darkness. Issue 3 came out. I just want people to read it and tell me how it is before I commit to it, because, so fun fact about me, I was named after Ash from Evil Dead. So I also I call Bruce Campbell my my pops because it's funny, and because, like, again, I wouldn't be named Ash if it wasn't for Evil Dead. So go check that out. I love it when Army of Darkness gets a little silly, but I don't think it's that silly because, again, it's Archie. And sometimes they'll do something like The Death of Archie or Archie Zombies, or Archie's good, guys. But speaking of things I did read Muppets Noir issue 2. I love this book so much. I didn't think that, like, it's so, like, okay, so the Muppets are a very visual medium. It, like how the Muppets operate is very much intended for video. It's intended for your eyes to see every single movement. And hear everything. So to find something like Muppets Noir, which manages to capture the spirit of the Muppets entirely through comic book visual gags and speech bubbles, beautiful, beautiful. I love it when Kermit gets attacked by the cat and then he puts it on to the next panel. I love that Miss Piggy's character in the Noir has been, like, popping up all over the place, and Kermit's like, I don't know where this woman is. I love also at the beginning because, like, so, the Muppets are fretting over Kermit, who's still knocked out, and, Miss Piggy's like, oh, maybe I should stay with him, and then Yolanda's like, oh, hey, I can replace you on the show if you want to stay with Kermit, and then Miss Piggy dramatically drops her robe and is like, no, the show must go on. She does not want to, like, sacrifice any of the spotlight. I love Muppets Noir, but the highlight for me that made me stop was the fact that they managed to put the Swedish chef's words into thought bubbles. Here's a fun, pretty lady. And it's just so good. I didn't think that someone could do it, but they did it. And this is one of the greatest comics of all time. If you like Muppets, go check it out, please. It's so good. It is so good. Speaking of good things, now it's time to talk about my favorite indie publisher, IDW. Starting off, Star Trek Lower Decks issue 18. Okay, I don't have much to say about this, but I did read it. Still extremely good. I like that Friedman kind of gets a, I like how Friedman gets a maneuver, and they kind of like, and Ransom's like, I wanted a maneuver? Wait, how did you get a maneuver and I haven't even heard about it? Anyway, I got back into DS9 recently. I took a long pause because, like, me and Stack took a long pause from watching DS9 because, I had been in a very harsh emotional state, and I tried watching DS9 when, like, the mental illness kind of took a hold of me at first, and then that's also when we had to watch Dr. Bashir, I presume, which completely wrecked me. So, like, we took a little break, but we're back now that things are, like, calming down for me. So it was great seeing Morph again. This is the last issue that the artist is on, and also the wrapping of this arc. And I don't know, it was fun. I liked a lot of the visual gags that were going on, like the Brady Bunch parody that they kept on being put into with the comm screen. The icon for, like, the video calls when like, there's no camera on the other hand, being, like, a generic cat, which then causes Dr. Tiana to want to attack it. I love that. Keep that up. Keep this up. Lower Decks is so good. But yeah, if you're thinking about jumping onto Lower Decks as a comic book series, definitely go start with the next issue. I miss Lower Decks. I miss Starfleet Academy, actually, most of all. I'm gonna do a side tangent because we're talking about Star Trek. So, fun fact, 2 things have happened. First off, Starfleet Academy is getting a comic book, and you should go check it out because it's really good. But second off, Jaden's actor gets to go the same pipeline as Nicole Maines and is getting to write a story about Jaden for Star Trek Celebrations. And I am so excited for it. Unfortunately, it is going to feature Kyle and not Darum. I need the Darum, Kyle, Jaden love triangle to be solved. I need it to be solved, and I need Darum to win so we can imply. I need Kyle to be implied to become the next Khan because of this. I don't know. I love Starfleet Academy. I'm still really mad that they decided to cancel it preemptively. Paramount, when I find you. Paramount, when I catch you. I hope your merger doesn't go through. And then you have to do Starfleet Academy Season 3. But definitely the most interesting release from IDW, I would say. The Godzilla Monsterpiece Theater presents Romeo and Juliet and Godzilla. Okay, this book is fucking insane. So it's literally like Romeo and Juliet is happening in the foreground, and Godzilla... a Godzilla fight is happening in the background, like, the whole time. And sometimes the two interact by, like, you know, fucking, like, killing someone. But, like, they're completely separate of each other until the very end. And I especially like one of the pages where, like, so, like, Godzilla is behind Romeo and, like, behind Juliet is Mothra, and like they're reuniting together on both ends before like Mechagodzilla comes out, which is piloted by Juliet's father, who's trying to keep Godzilla and Mothra apart while also simultaneously trying to keep Juliet and Romeo apart. Fucking so amazing. And unfortunately, if you know how Romeo and Juliet goes, yes, they both die at the end, but they die because so Romeo drinks the poison and then becomes like a kaiju briefly, and then like his body rejects it and he shrunks down to normal size, and Juliet like takes one of the giant glass shards and like stabs herself with it, and so they're both dead. But here's the thing, so Juliet's mom is like freeing Mothra, and she's like, I don't want like this whole fight to make an orphan out of both of us, and like sends Mothra out to go help Godzilla fight Mechagodzilla. And this shit's really good. I need you to read this because like Monsterpiece Theater has been great this whole time, but like I especially think that they popped off with this one. And also the Robin Hood at the end, which is just Robin Hood with the threat of Godzilla. So good. I love Godzilla comics. They're so fucking great. Alright, I got nothing else for this week. No news came out. I know that people were posting about Kelly Thompson saying that she's writing Diana as queer, but we'll cover that more next time we see Absolute Wonder Woman at the end of this month. Jesus Christ. That's all I have for last week in comics. So up here is your next recommended video is an episode of Ash and Their Fantastic Friends, my live show I do every Saturday, 9 p.m. EST. Is an episode of Comics Terminology where I try and explain complicated comic things. Is my interview with Ryan North. Is the Why Wingfoot video essay I still have yet to finish. I don't know when you're watching this either. Down here is the rest of the playlist for Last Week in Comics. Again, I've been doing this since November 2024. We're about to hit November 2026. And then over here is the subscribe button. As you all know, the Why Wingfoot video essay is still incoming. It is taking forever to write it. It is taking forever to film it. I should have started this way sooner than I did. But oh well. We live and we learn. So that's upcoming. Please subscribe. Leave any ideas you have for a Comics Terminology video down below. I know I have one saved in the drafts, but like, you know, information that you want to know is important to me. So please tell me. Anyway, I gotta go win a roller coaster competition. So, and cut.